knew something had to happen. You knew eventually the biggest names in the Democrat Party were going to start coming forward. We already knew Obama was slowly, quietly trying to push Joe off the ticket. We saw the all wonderful George Clooney finally say Joe Biden needs to step aside. And now we're seeing none other than Bill and Hilary Clinton. They are joining the calls for Joe Biden to step away from his reelection campaign because they know, and they're scared, they know Donald Trump will destroy Joe Biden in November, no matter what the polls are saying. The rebellion continues against Joe Biden's presidential candidacy, and now Bill and Hillary Clinton are joining the behind-the-scenes plotting with Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi. And you know Nancy Pelosi, who Joe Biden is the smartest man I know. His policies are top-notch. He's never done anything wrong. He is the man to lead this country into the future. She now is changing her tune. But the president's allies, and I always say this, and it's my belief, that Jill Biden, Dr. Jill, is behind keeping Joe in this race. For some reason, some unknown reason, she thinks that she is important. She needs to remain relevant. And of course, Hunter is supposedly now sitting in during White House meetings. So is Hunter Biden now advising Joe on what to do when he's talking about policy for our country? Lord, I hope not, because we all know, as they always say about Donald Trump, he's a convicted felon. Well, Hunter Biden is now a convicted felon, and he shouldn't even be allowed in the White House. But Joe Biden is still in the race. Corinne Jean-Pierre continues to tell us that Joe will remain in the race and he will win. And this poor soul, I actually feel bad for this man. I think I said it before, but I feel bad. This man is tired. He does not want to go out there like he did last night at the NATO summit, where he held his big boy press conference, and that came from Biden's own people. A big boy press conference. Imagine saying that about the president of the United States, the leader of the free world. He's going to have a big boy press conference. They all know the man has some form of cognitive disease, be it Parkinson's, be it dementia. We don't know. But it's so obvious to the American people that this man no longer can be in charge of the United States of America, especially the times we're seeing now. We're seeing China and Russia getting together. We're seeing Putin continue to attack Ukraine. But we also see the Biden White House once again yesterday pledging another $200 million to Zelensky. He also said, and I quote, he was going to have F-16s in Ukraine this summer. So I have to imagine that U.S. servicemen, U.S. airmen are going to be flying those F-16s. But that's just my guess. I don't sit in on meetings, but I have to guess. So as it continues, something's got to give because we're in hell right now, said a Democratic strategist, Jim Manley, a well-connected former staffer who knows all the players in the modern Shakespeare drama. Just look at this man. He doesn't even know he's at the NATO summit, but they continue to have him not only embarrass himself, but embarrass the entire country on the world stage. This needs to stop, and that's why I believe Hillary and Bill got involved. Now, I said this before. Are they going to unveil Hillary Clinton at the DNC convention? Are they going to unveil Michelle Obama? Because quite frankly, we see Gavin Newsom campaigning all over the country for Joe. But is he really campaigning for his own goals, if you will? Gavin Newsom wants to be the president of the United States. He's a very close ally of Joe Biden. So you have to wonder, what is Gavin really up to? I don't believe that Gavin Newsom could win because we all see California. California in itself is like a third world nation. Why would anybody, even hardcore Democrats, vote for Gavin Newsom? But I just had to bring this out a bit because when you see Hilary Clinton, who is, again, just like Pelosi, a big, strong Biden supporter, always had his back, always said he's the man for the job. Donald Trump's a criminal. Donald Trump's going to be a dictator, this, that, and the other thing. We've all heard it. When Hillary Clinton gets involved, you know the clock is ticking on Joe Biden's reelection campaign. It's going to end. I just don't know when, but it's going to end before the convention because they have to unravel or unveil their new candidate. And I don't think it's going to be Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris is polling lower than Joe Biden, although some polls say she's polling right now and she could beat Trump. Kamala Harris was a DEI vice president. Biden always said he was going to put a black woman in that position, and that's who he chose. She's not the best one by any stretch of the imagination. There were far more smarter, more competent black women in politics that he could have chose. But for some reason, the Democrats in charge told him, you got to take Kamala. So let's stay tuned. I'm going to keep talking about this. It's not going to go away. And very, very soon, we're going to see who is going to replace Joe Biden to be the president of the United States and run against Donald Trump.